All right, guys, welcome back. Going into hour number 2 here. Steven, what's going on?
You guys, what's going on?
Well, I guess me and Kellen are walking back, right?
Mm-hmm. You guys, unless there was something you wanted to do along the way, I'd say, you guys can quickly make it back to the house and sync up about what needs to happen.
Nothing for me. Kellen, was there anything you wanted to do?
No, I'm good to go. I got a mission and I got a motivation.
Okay.
Cool.
Steven, with the house that me and Juliet have, is there like a little... Do we have a yard?
Yeah, it's a reasonable house. Like, you're spending a gold a day, basically maintaining your cost of living.
Okay.
It's probably got like a kitchen and a living room and a bedroom area or something like that. It might have a second story, but that's probably more like just some sort of loft like storage space rather than like an actual second floor. There's like a small yard. It's in town, but on the outskirts of town.
Gotcha. Well, I guess in that yard, there's a fish tank or something. But I've started trying to procure the muckfish vodka.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Didn't you have some hagfish vodka? Like you
hagfish? Yeah.
Bought some.
Yeah, I got some from him, but he also I like crit trying to understand what it was.
Yes.
And how to make it and how to procure it. So I've been trying to replicate that in our front yard.
Yeah, if you want to get specialized stuff to do that, then you could certainly look around for craftsmen who could craft you the kind of still to the specifications that you would be able to draw from memory.
Okay.
Because you are a brewer and you know what you did spend time analyzing that, so you could give schematics to someone.
Okay. Well, let's say that I've done that. And how much would that cost? Maybe that's why I didn't go with the crew the week that they got leprosy. That's what I did in the meantime.
That makes sense. I'm happy to let you do that for 50 gold.
I spend 50 gold and I don't tell Juliet. Because basically it was my gold to begin with. So who cares? Who cares? So,
what, you think I'm gonna freak out or something? What are you trying to say?
Yep. So I'll
cool.
Minus 50 gold.
All right. So you've got a still out in the yard. So when you get back to the house, what do you do?
I just go. I walk or maybe I hastily walk over to the still and I'm checking all the little gadgets and stuff on it, and I see Kellen just kind of standing behind me. I'm like, let me show you this. Look at this. Look at this right here. When that gets to that point, then it's done. Then the vodka will be done, and I can get rich and support Juliet and the child.
Oh. So your master stroke will be to be a seller of spirits.
Yes, we're gonna sell this, and I will be very rich. It'll be the talk of the town.
If you need someone to collect ingredients later in life, I'm sure I could probably use a vocation after I finish my quest, and then.
Are you saying you want to be a business partner?
Sure.
I kind of put my arm around Kellen. I'm like, I knew I could count on you, Kellen. I knew I could count on you. I just kind of sit there and with my arm around Kellen, just sit there and stare at the still and look very proud and happy.
And I look out at anybody who's walking by and hopefully they notice him with his arm around me.
Oh yeah, they do.
And then from inside,
Isn't this because I learned that from Coh's other character?
There's a nice. There's a kid, some 17-year-old guy walks by, carrying a sack of it's actually kind of moving and clucking a little bit, and he's just sort of trudging along. He looks up at you and you're like, and he's just like. He just walks past, shaking his head with his clucking chicken bag on his back.
As you're doing that, I'm just Iron Jaw Brew. What do you think? You like the name? It's a good name.
Iron Jaw Brew.
Iron Jaw Brew. That's what we're gonna go with.
Okay. How about Iron Jaw's Wild Brew?
That's why you're a business partner. I like it. We're gonna stick with that. I like it. Fantastic, fantastic. At that point, I hear like Juliet screaming or just yelling, and who knows? I just hear Juliet inside. I'm just like, fuck. I'm like, we better go inside. We better go inside.
So, like, you know,
You go ahead. I don't have any desire to see a dwarf bathing or a pregnant orc bathing him.
yeah.
That's why you're a business partner. I'll be right back.
I think by this point in time, Shaldrick is probably done with his bath and has either wrapped a towel around himself or dressed himself back in the same stinky, dirty clothes that he had from before.
Let's go with towel.
All right, towel. Excellent. So, yeah, Kurthak, you walk in, you
Oh my
open
God.
the door,
Yeah.
and there's
Kurthak,
Shaldrick, like, just walking out of the kitchen just wearing, like, your towel.
Yeah, Kurthak, do you have more clothes in the house?
Do I? I mean, I've got, yeah, sure. I've got my
Okay.
dad clothes on.
Yeah, you've got, like,
Pretty
3
sure
outfits or
that I
whatever.
wear around the house, yeah.
When you walk in, I'm like about to hand him a set of your clothes and be like, just wear these.
And I'm reaching out to accept them.
Yeah, I see this and I'm just like, of course. Of course. Did you find the bath to your liking, dwarf?
It was fantastic, my friend. Thank you very much for your hospitality.
Great.
See? You don't have to be such a meanie all the time to people.
Well, I will never shower ever again because I do not want... You know he has leprosy, right? You know this.
I don't know what that is.
Don't ever touch him.
Too late.
I just
Okay.
gotta-
What do you think about that, Juliet? What do you think about Kurthak being like, don't ever touch him?
I mean, it sounds like really mean to me. Like, maybe he's just being kind of a judgy, you know? Like, nobody's explaining to me what this is, so all he's saying is, like, don't touch him. Like, that seems, like, maybe racist? I don't know. Like,
Friend, I was cursed. This isn't something normal. You don't need to worry about catching this for me. And besides, with the help of Kellen, I'll be clear of this in no time.
yeah,
walked
I'm gonna, like, look for a cure anyway, so, like, even if I get it, like, it'll be fine, because we're gonna figure out how to get rid of it, so...
So at this point, I'm
Right.
looking through the clothes that were handed to me. Now, just to be clear here, Karthak is a large character.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not large with a capital L, but he's a big guy.
Significantly larger than me, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you're like what, like 4'8" or something like that?
I'm a tiny dude. Yeah, I think just around there.
Yeah. Kurthak, how tall are you? Like 6'6"?
I think we determined I was like 6'6", yeah. Like
Yeah.
pretty
So,
tall.
you know, the scale of the clothing, like it's not obviously made for a creature of another size category. So it's not like for a giant, it's not for a halfling. But it is obviously made for someone a completely different shape than you are.
So I'm going to kind of take a look at the clothes and then kind of look around and say, you know, excuse me for 1 second. Let me go throw these on. And as I go back and close the door, you hear the sound of ripping fabric coming from inside the room.
I just kind of like, I guess maybe I'm tending to the fire or something inside, and as I'm doing that, I just stare and glare over at Juliet. With like,
What? Oh my god.
he's tearing my clothes up. You hear
Yeah,
that?
you can buy him new clothes.
Yeah, because we're rich. Right? We have so much money.
Yeah.
Wait, we do?
Don't we?
So at this point, I open the door and I go, friends, I will pay you back. Don't worry. Thank you for these clothes. You have no idea how much I needed this.
And you've got like, you know, like your pants are like all torn off at the seam, and like, you know, you've got like a strip from the shirt tying a belt around your waist and stuff. Yeah, totally.
But I'm totally covered. That's what's important.
Yes.
I come up and knock on the door, or pound on. Doop, 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 doop. Did you tell her about the priest?
Oh,
Yes, did you tell him about the priestess? We gotta go. We gotta do this.
we got me and
Gotta go
Kellen. That's sorry about that. Me and Kellen. We spoke to a human priestess at the temple. He wants us to go to an elf village. It's about 2 to 3 days northeast of here. I Alamos or some Alamo. I forget. Kellen
Oh my
knows all.
gosh, are we gonna leave? I'm so excited. I'm gonna go put on my adventure outfit and I leave.
I start like stoking the fire some more. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave.
My adventure outfit.
Oh, it's actually northwest, not northeast. Sorry. So that's what Elith would have told you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, Shaldrick, are you coming with us? Is this a thing now? Are we now a party?
So I kind of look at these two and I say, let me make sure I understand this. You guys are putting your entire life on hold to go to this elf city to help cure my disease after just meeting me?
I mean, Juliet seems to like you, and Kellen seems to like you, so I'm waiting on my vodka to procure. It takes time.
So at this point, Shaldrick turns around. He is now like 6 inches from the wall, and he looks down. And you hear him start going, "No, I don't. But come, come on. Fine." And I turn back around, and I say, "Okay."
Nice.
Good. I'm just like still poking. There's no reason for me to be poking the fire, but I don't really know what I'm doing because I've never done this before. I've always had like the nobles do it. Just like poking at the giant sticks, trying to like break it apart and stuff. Like, oh, I guess we'll leave in the morning then. I just like take a strong jab at it when I say that.
Hey, Steven.
When you say that, I'm like running back down the stairs like with my adventure outfit on. I'm like, we're leaving in the morning. Oh my god, why didn't you say that before I went upstairs?
You didn't give me you just ran as typical. You just decided to do something without deciding or talking to me
Fine.
first.
I'll get back into my normal clothes then.
Okay.
Because apparently
Great.
this outfit isn't needed right now.
It's not. Tomorrow morning is when we're leaving. I'm just kind of like looking around the room. Go ahead.
Since I do most of my like sleeping and living out in the forest on the outskirts outside of Veriscali and stuff, I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would assume that I do a lot of bartering with like things I hunt. Like I would take like a deer, haunch and bring it in and maybe buy, I don't know, like a dagger or something or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because when I see the dwarf, I will eventually see him, and I'll see him in rags and such. What I would like to do is go out and hunt and see if I can get enough for, a light meal, and then bring it back, trade it, like barter it for like something more fitting for him, or maybe even like something leathery that he could wear that would protect him.
Okay, give me a survival roll.
Okay. Well, I've done good so far. Let's fail now. How about survival? Let me see here. Survival +2. Oh.
Quick side question, Steve, and while he's doing that, even though my clothes are gone, do I still have my armor?
Yeah. You still got all of your equipment and stuff, right? Okay, yeah. You managed to hunt down a couple deer or something like that, Kellen, and now make a persuade roll.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, because I got a barter. Persuasion, probably not good. Nope, that's a -1.
Nice.
I believe in you, Kellen.
Wow.
Holy hell!
Woo!
Yeah. So, like, what do you do when I guess you know somebody in town that you've worked with before. Who is that? Is that, like, a human, or is it an elf, dwarf, halfling?
I'd probably say someone who tans leather.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, well, they're mostly humans here. Like, elves and dwarves are a little bit less, like, out of the norm. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a guy I deal with who I've traded for, like, a general goods kind of a person.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about an armor that would take time, like, banging out some armor. I'm talking about a guy who would, like, make a leather shirt.
Yeah. So, his name is Gear, like Richard Gear.
Cool. Okay.
He's done dealings with you before. So you head up to him and you offer him like a haunch or something from this deer. He looks at you, says, hey, Kellen, it's been a while since I've seen you around. You got something else for me, huh?
In fact, I do. A friend of mine who I've just met, but I can tell we're going to be friends. he has misplaced or his just say he has no clothes. He is a dwarf about this high, and he needs something to go out in the wilderness with that might protect him from passing brambles or maybe an arrow from a bandit or what have you. Kind of give him the just so about his measurements. He's about this wide, this tall. Just a leather shirt and maybe some breeches.
Yeah, I think I got some leather breeches and a vest I could give you in exchange for this. This is like that's a fine quality haunch of meat. I could probably I could cure that, turn it into some really good meat. That looks good.
Well, speaking of good treats, in the future you should look out for Iron Jaw Wild Brew.
Iron Jaw Wild Brew. That
and I are going into the spirit business. It might be a while, but look for it. I'll bring you a first taste.
I'd like that a lot, Kellen. Thank you. Thank you. That sounds good.
How long until it would be ready, or do you have something?
Yeah, he's got it. So he just goes into like a chest that he keeps in the corner of his house, and he opens it up, and there's like a bunch of garments that he's made over time stashed away in there, and he pulls out some, starts holding them up sort of against you to sort of gauge the size, and then he finally pieces together like a vest and a pair of pants and hands them over to you.
Cool. Well, I'm sure it's probably because I had to hunt, and I'm sure it's probably dark and stuff like that. So
I'm assuming you're doing this the next morning, actually.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect. That's great. I'll come back to the house, knock on the door. I won't really enter. I'll just knock and wait for someone to answer, and hopefully I'll ask for Chaldrick to come out.
Sure.
I open the door.
Hello, Juliet.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Well, clothes are optional, I suppose, in your own home. But is Sheldrick available?
Oh, yeah. Shelly! Is somebody at the door for you?
I'm like sitting in the chair. I'm just like,
I'm going to let it be a surprise that it's you.
Chaldrick, you're wanted at the door. I can hear Juliet.
So I'm going to walk up and just say, thanks, Jewel. Appreciate it.
Shally and Jewel. Oh, God.
So, at what point over the evening did you two begin calling each other shortened names?
I mean, I figure we had, we had our more, heartfelt moment when we first got to the house before he took his bath, right? And then we had a whole night to wind up talking a bit more.
Yeah.
And,
So you guys were just, up a little late chatting.
Gabbing about all the goss. Oh, my God.
Okay, cool.
While they were doing that, well, go ahead, Co.
I was going to say, in the entire time, I'm extremely humbled after my 3 days of hell, having no idea what I was doing. So I'm just infatuated with how nice these people are being to me. And all I was thinking about the whole time is trying to keep Juliet happy and not talk to my friend the whole time. Try to keep a nice straight face. And that was my evening. And the second she called me Shal, I perked up and said, thank you, Jewel. And that was it.
Yeah, nice. Sorry, what were you doing, Kurthak?
I was going to say, the entire time that they were, having a conversation, I've just been, there's been a certain small canister, in the kitchen area of the house that's just been sitting there that I've been, eyeing the entire time, and it's the small little vial that Vajgert had given Juliet.
Yeah.
I've just been kind of, eyeing it the entire time I've been walking around. Maybe, picking it up and just looking at it and... Vajgert, huh? Just, putting it down on the table.
Yeah. Good. So, I actually want to spend a little time talking about Kellen's evening.
Kellen's evening?
Yeah. So when you were out in the wilderness...
Oh, okay.
And you made camp overnight...
Mm-hmm.
As you were sitting there, looking at the fire,
mm-hmm.
I imagine that maybe you thought back to an encounter you had recently with your father.
Yes.
Can we find out how that went?
absolutely.
Yeah. So just going into the flashback, like, it's like, a month and a half ago, and you had just sent out a message through Hextia to your parents saying, meet me at the Standing Stone in 1 week's time. And it's been a week, and now you're walking up to the Standing Stone. It's kind of a dreary afternoon. What are you hoping for from this meeting?
I'm hoping that that somebody shows up. B, that they tell me that everybody's okay.
Yeah.
C, that I can come and I can help and I can fight and I can help help them with whatever they're struggling against. Be it like the hag or that kind of thing that's blighting everything. And that I could stand by my father's side and my mother and beat back this evil that's taking over the land. Yeah, and that's my hope.
What did your father look like the last time you saw him?
It's been 3 years since I've seen him. He had not a straggly beard, but a full beard. There's obviously a little bit of hero worship there because I followed directly in his footsteps. He was a ranger. He was, in my eyes, the best ranger that ever was, and he could shoot a deer in the eye from 700 yards away with an arrow that was broken and stuff like that. He was my hero. And I see him and I'm sure, like, when I see him walking back, now that I'm more grown and more towards an adult, that if I see him walking back, it'll be kind of a disappointment because he'll look like an actual person, like a human being. And I've had 3 years on my own to just think about like all the brave deeds he's doing and that kind of stuff. But I'm sure he's like pretty haggard. He's got some more scars. His eyes have grayed out a little bit.
And like, how old is Kellen now?
Kellen is 18.
Yeah. Okay. What's your dad's name?
Oh God, I had that. It's right here. Dad's name is. That's right. I'm a junior. Okay.
Kellen Sr.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, like, you're standing there next to the Standing Stone. It's kind of gray misting, sort of rain falling. It's like, I guess it's like late May. And you're sitting there sort of thinking to yourself, wondering, like, am I going to be disappointed with my dad? Things like that. What did you call him? Did you call him Kellen Sr.? Or did you call him Father, Dad?
I think it probably would have been, like, either Father or Sir.
Got it. Yeah, okay. So
something like that, yeah. I'm not sure, like, time-wise, language-wise, what would be different for Sir, but something like that.
Cool. So, yeah. You're standing there, and you just hear like a roll of thunder from far, far away, and then through the mist, a large shape starts moving beyond the mist. You can't quite make it out. It looks like some sort of animal, sort of circling you. How do you feel about that?
It looks like it's just a weird shape that it moves like an animal.
Yeah.
Well, I move. If I'm by the Standing Stone, I stay near the Standing Stone so I can use it if I need cover or whatever like that. But I'm definitely like crouched down, got the bow out, like ready to go just in case. Okay, so this large shape prowls forwards through the mist, and it's this large black bear. Except that it's got sort of like growths of horns coming out of the back of its skull. Just small ones, like just a small fan of horns. But like every time it sets foot on the ground, you see like a flare of growth in the grasses at their base. And you hear like the snuffling sound of this bear sort of. So like it actually grows where he steps. Yeah, just a little bit. It's just like new leaves sort of, start sprouting just a little bit. Sure. Okay. So in my estimation, as far as my mother being a druid and my father being a ranger, I know this guy is not something that, I mean, this is a good sign because, growth is not something you associate with evil or whatever.
Yeah, like it's in your philosophy of growth being good and like nature being the thing that you revere above all else.
Mhm.
This may actually even be kind of a like a spiritual moment for you. You're seeing some sort of incredibly natural creature, like hyper-natural almost.
Okay. Then with that said, I drop my bow, let the arrow, let the bow fall to the ground, and walk towards the horned bear.
Yeah. So like it sort of stops as it sees you approaching. It sniffs in your direction and it just like sits down back on its haunches. And it's nearly as tall as you are when it's sitting down. Like it's a big barrel-chested bear. It looks quite old, like there's like gray grizzling its jaw. And it's just sort of regarding you with kind of like preternaturally calm eyes.
Okay. I stop and I do the same thing. I first I get down on my knees and then I just sit back on my feet. Like I'm on my knees but I sit back.
Okay, so
like about I would say about like 5 feet from the bear. I kind of just sit back and
yeah. As you sit, the rain gets heavier, and like all of a sudden you hear that sound of like the rain hitting all of the grasses and hitting the leaves of trees that are sort of off a little ways, and the mist that was hanging around the hill sort of clears as the rain sort of washes it out of the air, and you see walking up behind the bear a tall, powerfully built man with a cloak wrapped all around him, and he says, "Son."
I immediately just like freeze and like I'm not like sobbing, but like I'm frozen, but like tears are like falling, down my face. Because
like maybe there's like a camera close up of your face and it's not entirely clear whether it's tears or it's rain, but it's clear you have this emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just Father, is it you?
Kellen, I got your message.
Spring up past the bear,
Yeah.
jump and embrace him as hard as I can.
Okay. Like surprisingly, he doesn't look what you were expecting. Like he's a powerfully built guy. He looks like, I guess he's probably like 36, 38, something like that. Like, he probably had you fairly young in his life. So, he's got like a full beard. It's got streaks of gray in it now. His hair is long, sort of pulled back. It's salt and pepper as well. There's like lines around his eyes, of course. He looks a little tired. As you're hugging him, he doesn't really hug you back, right? He wasn't really ever a hugger.
Sure.
But,
yeah, totally.
you feel like along his right side, there's this like hard wooden sort of feeling under his cloak.
What's this? I kind of like knock on it.
Yeah. He says, "Son, the wilds are a hard place." And he like throws back his cloak, and instead of an arm of flesh, there is an arm that's basically like wood that has grown up over into his shoulder. It's just like wood and bark, and like his entire arm is made out of plants.
How did this happen?
It's difficult to explain. I lost my arm, and I found a new one.
Well, that's wonderful. It's Are you in pain? Are you all right, Father?
No. There's no pain associated with the loss. It doesn't feel the way my other arm feels, but it works just as well. Gets the job done.
That's great. I have so many questions. I'm sorry, Father. I'm so excited to see you. How is Mother? Is she alive?
Is that what you called me here to talk about? Your mother?
Well, I know. I see you. I know you're alive.
She's alive.
She is. Well, the reason why I called you,
Yes?
I want to help.
Ah,
I'm with you, Father. I want to destroy whatever is blighting this land, and I want to prove to you that I am the man that you left at home.
Kellen, do you even know what you're asking? Do you know what it is we're fighting?
I don't care.
Boy, that is foolishness.
With you at my side, Father, there's no way I could lose.
I wish I could say the same, Kellen. Listen, boy, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see that you're well, and that things like this, and he holds up his arm, gestures, he says, things like this haven't come to pass for you the way they have for your mother and I. You're asking too much, boy.
I'm ready.
It's a dangerous place. Your mother and I, we did what we could to get you out of that world. We tried to bring you home, bring you to Viraskali, where you could be safe, and here you are asking to come throw yourself into danger?
Father, I am a man!